Knowledge becomes a treasure only when it is applied in practice. Practice without knowledge brings nothing but trouble. For centuries, Bukhara land has fascinated people with its beautiful nature, gardens, unique ancient architectural monuments. In particular, the rich teachings left by the ulama of this region have become the pearl of the world's spiritual heritage. One of such personalities who gave an invaluable legacy to humanity is Khoja Sayyid Amir Kulol. Khoja Sayyid Amir Kulol, the sixth spiritual mentor in a Khojagan chain of succession and the 15th spiritual link in the golden chain of succession of the Sheikhs of the Naqshbandi Tariqa, was born around 1281 in the village of Suhar in the Kagan district of Bukhara region. The Sheikh, who became famous under the names Amir Kulol, Sayyidul Arifin, was a swarthy man of tall stature, large build, physically strong, but by nature he was a very modest person, far from objections and stubbornness. In the work Maqamat Amir Kulol, it is said that his father, Amir Hamza ibn Amir Ibrahim, was a descendant of our Prophet Muhammad. The Venerable Sayyid Amir Kulol, one of the founders of the world-famous Naqshbandi Tariqa, is the 15th spiritual link in the golden chain of succession of sheikhs. Sayyid Amir Kulol was a perfect spiritual mentor who brought up the greatest of the great saint of his time, the Venerable Baha'u'llah. His aspirations to knowledge have improved over the years. After reaching the age of 20, he goes to the upbringing of Khoja Baba Samasi, the fifth of the seven spiritual mentors, who was the greatest perfected spiritual mentor of his time. From him he learns the rules of path in search of knowledge of Allah, the rules of tariqah, and reaches the level of a perfection spiritual mentor. At one time, Sayyid Amir Kulol had thousands of students. Arif the Rivgari was the famous among his students. This man was buried in the Karman district of Navoi region. Shamsuddin Kulol, the grave of this man, and Shahrazabs, Baha'u'llah Naqshband, Jalaluddin Keshi, and even a man like Amir Timur recognized Sayyid Amir Kulol as their spiritual teacher and took instructive blessings from him. Sayyid Amir Kulol has deeply mastered pottery. Thanks to this craft, he became famous as a spiritual mentor, calling for supporting a family and earning a piece of bread by honest work, devoid of self-interest. The person who predicted the entry of Sayyid Amir Kulol on the path of Sufism and blessed him was Sayyid Ata, the Sheikh of the Tariqa Yasaviya, the spiritual mentor in the chain of succession. Khojagan Khoja Muhammad Baba Samasi introduced him to the path of tariqah and taught him the rules of the spiritual path. In the work Rashahat, it is said that one day Muhammad Baba Samasi saw a young Amir Kulol participating in a Quraysh national struggle in the village of Kettaramitan and had an epiphany that in the future the young man would become one of the great spiritual mentors of the tariqah. As a result, Amir Kulol has been mastering the stages of spiritual development path for 20 years under the mentorship of Baba Samasi and becomes his perfect successor. Khoja Sayyid Amir Kulol was respectfully called by his contemporaries Sultanul Tariqa, which means the ruler of the tariqah, Shaykhul Shayukh, that is the Sheikh of Sheikhs, Murshidus Salikin, a spiritual mentor of those who have embarked on the path of truth. Sayyid Amir Kulol led a fairly modest life, mainly supported his family with his work and craft. Sayyid Amir Kulol was called a potter for being engaged in pottery. Even the wise words he said confirm this. A piece of bread obtained by honest labor cleanses both the words and the soul of a person. And in fact, Sayyid Amir Kulol, earned by honest work, was a man far from greed and didn't depend on the palms of outsiders. He worked himself, applied his craftsman skills, made pottery himself, and presented it to people. Sayyid Amir Kulol lived on this land and devoted himself to the education of disciples on this land. Sayyid Amir Kulol spent most of his life in the village of Suhar and also lived for some time in Nasaf, currently the city of Kasha. Khoja had 4 sons, Amir Burhan, Amir Shah, Amir Hamza, and Amir Umar. They were also sages who adopted the path of Tariqah. Amir Kulol entrusted the upbringing of his children to the best followers, Khoja Bahauddin Naqshband, Sheikh Yadgar, Sheikh Arif Degarani, and Jamaluddin Deh Asabi. Bukhara is the abode of saints. Great personalities and saints live in Bukhara. The pilgrimage sites of Abu Hafs Kabir, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, Chorbakir, and in a series of 7 spiritual mentors are located in the city of Bukhara. 7 great spiritual mentors lived in Bukhara. The name of the 6th saint was Sayyid Amir Kulol. This man did many good deeds, and the prayers he read gained true power. He had the ability to hear the plea of plants to Allah and could subdue wild animals. We came to these holy places from the city of Tursunzadeh in Tajikistan to make a pilgrimage. We were shown great respect at the border. They met us with an open soul and a good mood and helped us in everything. The land of Bukhara is so sacred because great scientists and mentors were buried here. We have a desire to visit all the holy places located in the vicinity of Bukhara. After each visit to such places, one's soul and heart is cleansed. I urge all my fellow countrymen to make a pilgrimage to such a holy land of Bukhara. The light of knowledge of the ulama of Bukhara continues to illuminate the entire Muslim world. Dream of many people is a pilgrimage to the burial places of great saints in the Islamic world, especially significant representatives of Tariqah and Sufism, who received the name of the 7 spiritual mentors. Thanks to the rapid reforms initiated in Uzbekistan in the religious and spiritual sphere, the Khoja Sayyid Amir Kulol complex has become one of the most prosperous places of pilgrimage. A majestic mausoleum consisting of 2 domes has been erected over the grave of Khoja Sayyid Amir Kulol located in the complex. One of them is decorated using the national mosaic in delicate colors and is painted with Kufic inscriptions. During the restoration of the second, a decorative method of laying bricks was used. These architectural methods give the structure a very attractive appearance. The complex has been expanded geographically and the place of pilgrimage has been brought into a state of unified composition. There is a new room adjacent to the gate, a mosque, a hotel for pilgrims, an octagonal pond, as well as a minaret about 11 meters high. The land of Bukhara is a sacred land that has made a huge contribution to our religion, to the Islamic world. We came to visit the holy Bukhara, the places where the saints dear to us lived. We have visited 7 spiritual mantras. Here we are standing on the earth of the 6th saint. God willing, we'll visit the 7th. Me and my classmates came to Bukhara from the Shurchinsky district of Surkhandarya region to make a pilgrimage to 7 spiritual mantras. It's been 52 years since we graduated from high school. During these 52 years, my classmates and I have often traveled to beautiful historical holy places. Bukhara is an ancient and flourishing land. Bukhara is the land of saints. Our ancestors lived in Bukhara. The purpose of our visit to these holy places is to see the Bukhara region once again, explore historical sites, and discover Bukhara once again. It is necessary to visit such places more often, because pilgrimage illuminates a person and appeals to learn history.
And I'm Charlie, we're from London in England, and so far we came from Andijan to Khiva to Bukhara, and then we're going to Samarkand and Tashkent, and it's a really beautiful country, lovely people, and it's, in Bukhara especially, it's been really good to see all the historic buildings. I've always wanted to come. It's been somewhere that I've wanted to come to for a very long time because of the history of the place, and the architecture, and the history of, yeah, as you said, the different sort of religious coexistence in the city, and so I think it's an amazing place, and we've got another day and a half here, which we're really looking forward to.
The Jame Mosque in the sanctuary, especially revered by pilgrims, is one of the sacred places, the foundation of which is built of natural stones and the walls are made of burnt bricks. The front and right side have terraces. The ceilings and columns of terraces are decorated with magnificent patterns, taking into account national traditions. 3 rifled doors of the mosque building give a unique beauty to the structure. The ceiling of the mosque is also decorated with the carving method. In a word, the extensive use of architectural techniques characteristic of Bukhara during the construction of the memorial complex of Khoja Sayyid Amir Kulol give the shrine even a more majestic appearance. We are from Russia, the city of Kazan. We are visiting Bukhara to see the holy places. I really like Bukhara. It is our first time in Bukhara. We really liked it. People are so good. There are many attractions here. The city is like a fairy tale. I really like the old town. The food is very tasty. The people are so kind. We came with friends from St. Petersburg in Bukhara for the first time. In fact, there are already so many impressions, emotions, because in general it's a great honor for us to walk along these streets. It's an amazing story, such an amazing civilization when you feel the spirit of the times, the spirit of the great people who lived here and passed through Bukhara. For example, today we remembered Avicenna, many others. It is just something incredible. Such sunny, very warm people live here. They are very kind, can be seen immediately from the first day. We still have a lot of interesting things ahead of us. Emotions are just off the scale. A stunningly atmospheric city. This is something incredible. We are all delighted. In fact, it is very difficult to single out any one Bukhara dish that would impress us, because everything is delicious. Pilaf, bread, and in general everything that we try, you cannot help eating. Today, pilgrims from all over our country and abroad are coming here in a continuous stream. Visiting holy places fills them with spiritual food, comfort comes from their hearts, their prayers have been answered, and they live here with good intentions and desires. The rich spiritual heritage and deep wisdom left by these saints are considered great teachings that help to understand the meaning of our life, make it even more meaningful and optimistic. In fact, researching the legacy of these great personalities and following their rules will help us achieve all kinds of benefits and success in life. Sayyid Amir Kulol passed away in his native village of Sohar, near Bukhara, where he was buried. According to his will, the burial of the body was performed by his disciples Maulana Arif Digarani and Khoja Bahauddin Naqshband. The architectural complexes of Khoja Abdulhalik Gijdwani, Khoja Arif Rivgari, Khoja Mahmud Fagnavi, Khoja Ali Ramatani, Khoja Baba Samasi, Khoja Sayyid Amir Kulol, Khoja Bahauddin Naqshband indicate that New Uzbekistan has so many opportunities for tourists. Today, a special direction of tourism has appeared: the pilgrimage tour 7 Spiritual Mentors of Bukhara. It deserves special attention that the creative work here is aimed at promoting the historical heritage of great scientists all over the world and creating all the amenities for those who want to visit these holy places. Wherever you are, seek for knowledge. If it becomes necessary to go through fire or water on this path, go ahead and become the master of your knowledge. Earn your life's wealth by honest labor and craft, and take care of it.